Well, I had left home as a teenager and struggling, I became homeless.
Not really, really homeless. I'm fighting for my mother's apartment. She died about 5 months ago, and they're trying to take me out.
When I first moved to New York, I came here under the idea that I was going to have a job, and everything kind of fell through, and much to my surprise and disappointment, I ended up homeless. And it was a situation that I never thought that I'd find myself in, but it happened.
I'm homeless right now. I had a job. I was a supervisor at a limousine company. It was, it was like a little more than minimum wage, but it paid the bills. My son took sick, so I had to stay home for a few weeks. Be that I missed so many days of work, I was fired from the job.
Well, after my mother passed away, I lost it, and I lost my apartment. Came home homeless, so I used to go to family's house or friend's house or whatever.
I had to put my mother in a nursing home. I was living with her. To stay with my mother I was helping at the time for 2.5 years. I decided to put her in a nursing home because I was unable to help her any longer. And by putting her in a nursing home, I wasn't on the lease. It was a housing project, so I had to move out.
When I lost my job, I was pretty much devastated. I knew, or we had been told for maybe about a year that it was coming, but nobody believed it, and I thought that I was safe, but didn't turn out that way, and it was a very, very traumatic. It was traumatic for me.
My oldest, he's 13. He's a teenager, so this is embarrassing for him as a teenager growing up. How does he explain that to his friends, why he can't brush his teeth or why he smells? And that's not how he's used to going to school. So out of his norm, it makes him feel inferior to his peers. And I can understand, his hair is not combed. And this is not what he's used to. He's used to every day taking a bath, every day brushing his teeth, every day having his snacks in his bags, or maybe some money to buy snacks. He's not used to not having anything at all, or sleeping on the floor. It's just embarrassing for him and for me that I'm not able to provide for my son adequately.
It's not easy. It's not fun or whatever. It's very stress, depressing. Jumping from house to house or whatever, or sleeping on the floor or whatever, It's very, it's horrible, it's horrible.
When I was homeless, I would stay awake at night, primarily because it was safer for me to stay awake at night. I felt that if anything was going to happen to me, it would be at nighttime. That was just my thinking. And during the daytime, I could find places that I could sleep where I would feel safe.
In the shelter, there's 6 of us in a room, and you're sharing, the shower, water. The only thing you're not sharing is the bed. It's something like being in jail. Only thing, you have more freedom.
The sanitary conditions are not very good, from the meals to the hygiene to the bathrooms.
It makes me, I'm so depressed. It feels like I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm nobody. Sometimes I feel like I can't do things that I used to do, so I feel like I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm so desperate that I don't even know what to do.
I didn't have a comfortable bed to sleep in, or the privacy. There were many days when I felt very lonely, even though I was around a whole bunch of people.
Being homeless was kind of like being invisible, and where the world just kind of forgets you. No matter how successful you may have been in the past, it becomes, that becomes just a blur. Some very simple examples of things that you take for granted, like being able to bathe, becomes something so simple, becomes very complicated. it becomes almost a challenge of like surviving in the wilderness, you know, because you become part of this human migration of people going from church to church, from site to site, trying to find something to eat.
I don't think that it's homelessness. Someone wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to be homeless. I don't think it works like that. I just think people find themselves in compromising situations, but they just don't know how to get out of the situation. They don't have the proper resource.
Oh, the partnership has been a great, it has been a great joy. I mean, they have helped me with housing. The groups that they hold on Tuesday and Wednesday are usually uplifting. It's usually a joy to come to. They're supportive.
I work for Human Resources Administration in the mailroom department down on Water Street here in Manhattan, and I've been there, 11 months, and I enjoy it. Thanks to Partnership for the Homeless.
It's just amazing, you know, the patience, the care that I received from the Partnership of the Homeless was unbelievable. I was so excited. I even wrote an email to the CEO expressing how grateful that I was for the type of treatment that I was receiving.
They helped me with the doctors, they helped me with housing. And she's like a social worker to me because she calls and finds out how I'm doing because sometimes I'm so stressed out and shaking.
They're very understanding. They care a lot for me, and I appreciate them.
The type of care that I'm talking about is empathy, not even sympathy. Because when you sympathize with someone, you know, you're saying, I feel sorry for you. But when you empathize with someone, you put yourself in that person's shoes. That's the care that I received. I felt like my father or my brother or a family member was helping me rather than just a worker.
Many of the caseworkers here they really understand the system, and they really understand the nature of homelessness.
And I think it does a great job because it gives a lot of people in different situations hope.
You know, the people here are friendly. It's like family oriented, you know? And it's like, you know, you meet these people and you say, wow, these people are really, they're so close, you know, they feel like family oriented.
It has given me a sense of worth because that comes with work. And when you're not working,
I've never been homeless before in my life. This is the first time I've ever experienced something like this, all because I lost my job and my son got sick. You know, one thing led to another and it just spun out of control. But I'm grateful now that, you know, within a few days I can move back into my apartment. Some people don't get to move back into their apartment, so I'm blessed. I'm extremely blessed and highly favored, and I'm just grateful.
My dream is to eventually return home to rejoin my own family.
My dream is to continue on working up until I'm 80, retiring maybe with a nice pension and living in Florida for the rest of my life.
My dream is, I wish I was back the way I was once before.
My dream is to get a full-time job and live a normal life again.
my dream is to reach final retirement and travel and still make a contribution to society in whatever way I can.
To live until the cure of AIDS.
I have so many dreams. I have lots of dreams, but my biggest goal is to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to provide for them in such a way that it will make them confident in their future, knowing that they can be or do whatever they want to do. It's not about me anymore. I think that I'm done. My job is just to prepare for my family, to make sure that they're never in the situation that I'm in.